Wow. That was one ugly damn game. Right? It was, It was ugly. Just so many things about it. I don't even know where to begin. One, of course, the penalties. And everybody, they called too many penalties. Well, they quit having stupid penalties. How do you get to line up in the wrong formation all the time?
That one to me is, how can we line up in a legal formation 3 or 4 times? Ridiculous by the Buffalo Bills in that situation. Aaron Rodgers with the delay of game. I mean, what? Like, come on, man. It just all these things. Now,
and then the other one, the pushing and fighting when the play is over.
Oh man,
that's another one, man. I mean, I just can't. And look, I don't care. Oh well, you're just old Phil, and no. I'm gonna tell you what. If we played a game like that, I would know going into the meeting room the next morning or whenever. I want to sit in the back of the room with people around me because it's coming. It's just call them out. And not only that, you have to worry about your damn job.
Right.
Those are the coaches I played under.
That's something that I feel like in the modern NFL right now, coaches are afraid to actually coach football players.
I agree.
This is why guys like Belichick can't get a job, because even the owners are scared of him, because he's actually going to keep it real and say, you're not doing your job properly. Even when he's on television right now, I'm just like, man, you better not say anything stupid around this guy, because he's going to get you in line real quick.
Oh, listen, he'll correct you. I studied when I used to do the Patriot games, which I did somewhere around 90 of them or somewhere. I don't know how many. It was a lot. And I would study extra hard all week on the Patriots and the team they were playing, because if you say anything that's even a little bit, maybe not completely right, he will question you. And one day he said to me, I said, well, I like it when you did the 4-down lineman. He goes, well, we didn't do no 4-down lineman, the defense line. I said, well, yeah, you did. You did. And now all of a sudden I'm going, oh God, did he really? I don't know if I'm right or wrong. And then finally I just go, I'm pretty sure you played 4-down lineman. And then all of a sudden he goes, you're right. And he goes, I forgot about bum, 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 or whatever. And I said, wow. I mean, I was sweating big time, because he would do that with everybody. He'll test you to make sure you watch his team, the team you're going to play. And Bill, I'm not getting paid by you here. I shouldn't have to, but it was great.
And that's my point. That's my point, is that right now in the NFL, you cannot just keep it real. And this is where I get like a little scared with the NFL sometimes. Like, I don't want the NFL to turn into the NBA, it's just a little too much of the players first. The greatest thing about football to me is the fact that you do have to play well as a collective unit. You do have to be really well coached and then execute that game plan really well on the field. Be disciplined, like you're saying. Right. Do the little things the proper way to be successful. And these are two teams that we're watching last night. They don't do those things. And for the Jets, it clearly doesn't matter who the head coach is. You still did the same things. A lot of penalties, self-inflicted wounds, just offense, I guess, looked a little better, I would say. It was better. Stats were a little inflated because of the Hail Mary and the passing and all that. But, just overall, not really sure about the Bills. I feel like they're about to implode. Now, hey, breaking news here on Sims Complete. Browns and Bills agreed on a trade. The Bills get Amari Cooper and a 2025 6th-round pick, and then the Browns get a 2025 3rd-round pick and a 2026 7th-round pick. Okay. So Browns and Bills trading. Bills get Amari Cooper to go along with that skill group, which, we had been seeing it kind of the past few weeks that, we were optimistic early on that they'd be able to weather the storm as we continue to as you would say, gather more evidence.
Yes.
We're seeing that the Bills do need help in the skill group, and they're getting it with Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper's a big guy. Is he in the prime of his career? Probably not, but still the size and his knowledge and experience will help that team, because when you look at it out there, you just go, overall, just talking about the Buffalo team, they look small on the field.
Yeah.
But saying that, I will say a couple things. One, they ran the ball right at the Jets. The Jets with their great defense, but still the running game. I mean, they ran it inside with power. They were doing the old, for everybody out there, a running play that the NFL loves, the double-double. The center and the guard and the tackle, they're going to double team the two inside guys. And, man, they were hammering that early and having great success with it, and went right down the field with that and mixing a few passes in there. I think the score, right? They scored in their opening drive. Yes.
I want to say that they did. Yes. Yeah, I want to say they took it down the field and scored on their first drive. Yeah. So the first drive was 9 plays, 70 yards.
Right.
4:54 was taken off the clock. And yeah, it was primarily them running the football and between the tackles. And this has been a concern, right? To go on the Jets side of it. The Jets at times versus the cream of the crop NFL football teams. And typically those teams do what? They run the football effectively, struggled to stop the run early on in this football game. And Ray Davis, for a smaller looking guy on the NFL field, it's so crazy. In college, he looked huge. Now in the NFL, he's small. But, man, he really packed the punch. He ran physical. He ran hard, a lot of good cuts. But the Bills' offensive line definitely was dominating the line of scrimmage in that football game.
Let's kind of stay with that. The Bills' offense against the Jet defense. The Buffalo offensive line overall was the rougher, tougher group in the game.
Yes.
And they had moments where, and you could tell it was, hey, what I did like about the game, it was personal.
Mm-hmm.
These teams truly do hate each other.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was the first touchdown when they scored. I could see Josh Allen was even talking and saying some things. I doubt if they were really like, hey, great, good to see you again. I think I had a little vinegar in there.
I agree.
But it just kind of showed me. But so the opening drive, and, a couple things. I don't want to get into the end and start of the game, but you're playing Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's going to move. He's going to get outside, which he did. I wrote it down. He got outside. The first time, nothing happened. The second time he got out of the pocket, he hits Ray Davis for 42 yards down the field.
Yeah.
That kind of got Buffalo going again.
Right.
Run. And Dawson Knox, he throws that corner touchdown pass, got outside the pocket.
That's right.
Again, in the third quarter, 38-yard pass to Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
So all these happened because the D-line got out of their lanes. If they stay in them, I don't know if you hit any of those.
Right.
Because the coverage overall by the Jets defense was really, really good.
Right.
A couple great throws, but also this movement by Josh Allen letting him buy time, which happens, I know, to a lot of teams. But the Jets know this. They play him twice a year. I just thought they would just do everything to keep him in there when the game started, but they didn't do it.
And I would say that's one crutch that Josh Allen, I think, has with his game, is that when he kind of needs to find a rhythm or to kind of build some sort of momentum for himself, he is looking to just kind of play backyard football that way.
I agree.
Unless number one is wide open. But even sometimes one will be open and he'll still say, hey, I'm just going to just run out here and do my thing. And it's effective. And you're right. For the Jets to let that happen throughout the football game in big key moments, even at the end of the game to seal it, when he faked the screen to the right and took off and ran for the first down around the defensive end who's unblocked.
Right.
That is one of those that's just, it's unacceptable when you know that is the strength and really one of the main and only strengths of that offense and the way that they can beat you. The Jets let that happen.
I think it was Michael Clemens who was the defensive end.
It was, yeah.
It was. And then number 22, I can't remember who it was. I think it was 22. But they both were in position to keep the outside edge, and they didn't. And, as I was watching that third down call, I was going, what are they going to do? I thought they would just put it back there and have Josh Allen run power or something off the right or left side.
Yeah.
And I also wonder this. Ready, Matt? Was that the called play, or did Josh Allen do it on his own?
I think he just said, F it.
Because
I'm doing
Are you
it.
telling me they practice, hey, we get in the tough situation, Josh, fake to right and turn and go left, because that'll really fool them.
I think he was just playing ball.
If he was, man, give that man a raise. Because, I'm going to go back to this a little bit. And the Buffalo Bills, I heard all this talk in the offseason. All the Super Bowl. I'm going, what? Are you looking at their roster?
Yeah.
This is not a Super Bowl team. I mean, they did a lot of great things last night to win that game against the Jets. Yes, I know the Jets, some things went against them or whatever, but you did hit a Hail Mary. So
yeah, right. The Hail Mary kind of, I think, inflates a little bit of like how the Jets really feel about themselves or how we view the game. If we're like, oh, 23-20, they should have won that game. Yes, you had the missed field goals, but also I would say you went 1 for 4 in the red zone again, with Aaron Rodgers. That's a problem. Even the touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson, the fact that New York had to call down to help you out. I mean, he's wide open. I don't understand. When you slide and throw it, just even some of the plays that you expect to be a little bit more routine or simple, it just, man, it's a lot of hard work sometimes for this team. The positive, right, for the Jets. Well, actually, let's stick with the Jets defense for a little longer here.
Yeah, go ahead.
One concern is that DJ Reed left the football game with a groin injury.
Right.
That's absolutely huge. I mean, for a corner and a groin, not a great combination. That seems to me like something that doesn't just go away 2 or 3 days from now. That could potentially be something that is nagging him the whole year. The other aspect is that Carter was out, the nickel back. They paid him this offseason, very talented. So all of a sudden, through this football game alone, with Carter being out and then DJ Reed leaving, your secondary gets very thin. And that's where I feel like the Bills were starting to attack on the outside with Keon Coleman, the short hitches and stop routes in those one-on-one situations.
Yeah, those were.
And Keon Coleman's shown that like he's tremendously talented at, if it's one-on-one with the corner, he's going to break that tackle almost half the time because he's just a big, strong dude.
Right. Those plays kind of go unnoticed. Looking at Buffalo, what are you going to do? You can't really run. But those stops on the outside, get the defender just to move. And you're right. The Keon Coleman was one. And they come in big spots, too.
They do.
They do. Buffalo overall, and the offense did everything I think it could do and have success against the defense, what it did or where they were, and played really well. Josh Allen played well. The running back was terrific. The offensive line, we're talking about that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there to like from Buffalo's offense and a lot to go. The strength of the Jets team is supposed to be this defense. I don't care about the points because the game, was fast.
Right.
I mean, the Bills had it one time in the first quarter, I think. So, the Jets defense, it's got to play better. They built this team to be great on defense. And it's got to be that. So,
and I think that's what's the most concerning for me, right? When I go back and look at this, I feel like I didn't hear Quinn Williams' name all that much in the game, right? Especially on the TV broadcast. Javon Kinlaw really struggled, I thought, at times in the run game.
Yes.
You're just, Michael Clemens too. The few plays that we saw, even the trash talking and all that, but just. You knew the one thing that the Bills had over you was the fact that they could potentially run the football with their really talented offensive line. Right. And what's scary to me is that's what they let them do that. And to me, that's what's concerning for them big picture wise for the New York Jets. I don't know if that's something that could be solved. We thought that they'd be more aggressively defensively with more like run blitzes or pressures to kind of clog up the interior part of that defensive line to kind of get some free runners at times. We haven't seen that consistently enough to say that that's their new identity.
Right.
But that is, I think, the bigger concern for the New York Jets is the fact that you had one glaring weakness on your side. They had one glaring advantage, and you really didn't do anything to prevent the other team from doing that. So hopefully they get healthier on the back end we'll see how that plays out. Haven't really heard anything about DJ Reed today. Now let's switch over to the opposite side, right? And Aaron Rodgers, the offense against this Bills defense.
Let's do it. You know, I did write, as I watched it, I lost my notes on Buffalo. I don't know where in the hell I put them because I have to write some of this stuff down because it's a lot on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I did like this, the aggressive play action by the Jets.
Right.
By count, they had about 5 aggressive play action passes. They hit 4 or 5 of those. So doing it, we haven't seen a lot of that this year.
Right.
And it was aggressive, sell the play action, but it was throw the ball down the field.
Right.
Which I liked a lot. You know, they ran outside with the tall sweeps. I thought that was good. They had a couple plays. They did double screens, which a couple times I thought was really awesome. They put Bryce Hall. Remember, he went out there. They had a really good play. I've seen it in the NFL this year. I saw it in preseason, I think, by the Tennessee Titans. But they basically sent 2 receivers down the field, one going down somewhat the middle, the other one going outside, and there's that gap between them, you know, about 10 or 15 yards behind them. And Breece Hall caught a nice pass there. And they actually went back to it later in the game, the other side. It didn't work, but still a good play.
Yeah.
And I keep saying this. I don't know if you agree, but Aaron Rodgers should be a great play action quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I like those fakes. Him getting back there gives him time. He can get that rhythm going, give the receivers a little more time to run and finish their routes, to be more deceptive. So, and
is it possible that the Aaron Rodgers ankle/knee injury is limiting the one aspect that we think they should tap into more?
I don't think so. I'll say this. I thought the offense looked different last night. I thought it was on the right path. I mean, most of the people today are talking, going, same old Jets. But no, I saw a different team. And I thought they were trying to do different things on offense to be more explosive.
I agree.
You know, he threw a couple slants and a couple this, but not as many as we've seen in previous games.
No. And, you know, of course, we're always going to see the quick, get it out of your hand throws, the design, great. Running back screens, you know, flare outs, all that. The quick slants, we get that. But you're right. I feel like we did see more plays that were intentionally attacking the second level of the Bills defense finally, which is something that we were questioning. Why are we not doing this more? Or why are we not seeing this more, right, from the New York Jets? So, you know, I think it was a positive sign that we saw some more of those concepts, you know, with Wilson over the middle, down the middle. Breece Hall, like you said, on that seam pass too. Lazard on a few occasions. You know, the big key, I think, for the Jets too, and why those plays were successful is what? And you know what I'm going to say? It's they ran the football. I mean, you know, and even they still could have been more patient running the football the way that this game was going. And again, I feel like they abandoned the run game too soon. You know, there was stretches in the third and fourth quarter where I'm just like, where were some of the first quarter and second quarter runs that we were seeing from under center, you know, that were effective? And for whatever reason, I just feel like they weren't patient enough. But Breece Hall had 18 carries for 113, you know, averaging 6.3 a pop. He did have a long of 42 on the one. Taylor Rapp made a great tackle that I think that drive ended up being the touchdown, I want to say. But still, you know, Breece Hall was more productive and really his most productive game so far this season with the Jets.
Alan Lazard, 6 for 114. Garrett Wilson, 8 for 107. So now we got those two, and now we got Devontae Adams come in there, and we got a trio.
Yeah.
You know, we thought that the wide receiving group was fixed, but they added to it, which I understand. I got to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this really bothered me. The Hail Mary at the end of the half. First off, when they showed the Hail Marys, I did the game in Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit's going to win the game. And I said before the ball, I said, if you rush 4, he won't be able to reach the end zone because he had to move because he needed space to, you know, really get a moving throw.
Yeah, and buy time. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't do it. They come out with 3, and what does he do? He does this. He rolls to the right. gears it up, throws it to the ceiling. I mean, it was incredible how high he threw it, and they get the touchdown.
Right.
So I was sitting with some people last night. It comes about. Here it is. And I go, oh, I hope they rush 4. They come out, they rush 3, and they really don't even do much of a rush, the Buffalo Bills.
They really rushed 2, and then they kept the third guy as a spy.
Yeah, it was 2. Yes, I'm sorry. It didn't sound right, 3. So they rushed 2. Now he's back there looking like, should I throw the ball over here for the outside? So he says, oh, what the hell? And did you see the clip of Bill Belichick talking about it?
And he brought up a great point. So yes. Belichick was talking, if you play the sideline defense, all right, throw the Hail Mary. If they defend the Hail Mary, then you take your little your sideline concept, was basically just, deep outs, right? All layered on top of each other. And you just try to get the deepest one you can to get into field position for a field goal. And that's where I'm disappointed in McDermott in that situation. All right, who cares if they're lining up for a long field goal in that game, the way that it's going? And especially, too, you're not playing into the fact that it's windy and clearly kicking was an issue even for your own field goal kicker on the extra point. So, hey, let the wind do its thing. Make sure that we defend the Hail Mary. And you're right. There was the 2-man rush. Very, very silly. Even great experience, right, and wisdom by Aaron. He didn't rush out because he's like, all right, 2-man rush, I have time. Let me just kind of slide back and forth in the pocket and wait. But that's something that going forward, for the Bills, I mean, do something other than what you did. Even if you're going to just rush 2 or 3, defend the Hail Mary, let them throw the deep out, and let them kick a 40-yard field goal on a windy day at MetLife and see how it happens. Because the Hail Mary really was, a moment where you dominated the first half, and then, we got a game now all of a sudden.
You know what I was thinking of?
Yeah.
The playoff game, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, 13 seconds ago. I mean, come on.
I mean, I was thinking it too. I just didn't want to bring it up for anybody.
They protected the sideline. Okay, well, you forgot that Kansas City had timeout, so they could throw it inside and call the timeout. Whatever. I don't want to get back into that. But when that happened, they completed. I said, well, this is meant to be. Jets are going to win this game.
Right.
And, it was my first thought right away.
I agree.
Emotionally, everything else. But give Buffalo credit. They hung in there. And when they needed a big drive in the game, as you're watching, go, man, if the Jets stop them with 3 and out, they're going to turn this thing around and definitely get control of the game. But they never could do that when it counted.
Right.
And I give a lot of credit to everything. Running the ball by Buffalo, their offensive line, some good play calls, and, of course, Josh Allen. So, but my big takeaway of the game, many of them, but I did like what the Jets were doing on the offensive side.
Yeah.
At least they broadened their horizons a little bit.
There was improvement there. There's no doubt about that. And they get Davante Adams now involved in this passing game. So now you got Davante Adams, Allen Lazard, and Garrett Wilson as your 3 main receivers, with Xavier Gibson kind of being that Swiss Army knife guy that comes in and does other things in the slot. You got Conklin at the tight end position. You got Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. So the excuses of being an underperforming offense, it goes back to what you said earlier. Both teams really undisciplined football, and primetime football Monday night. Both teams really show the country that they are very far away from actually being what we would consider Super Bowl contenders. And they need to find their ways very quickly, despite the Bills being now in first place in the AFC East. But, both these teams got a lot of work ahead of them before we can, start congratulating them on how talented or how good they're playing.
Yeah, and of course the Jets, I don't know. The league is so together this year. It's hard for teams to run away with it. Especially in the AFC, I think. And so 2-4, the season's it's starting. We're moving along. We just like when we talked about the other day about the Giants and talked about Cincinnati, all of a sudden the Bengals got some guys back. And now it changes everything you think about the team.
Definitely.
So these teams are in the same boat. We'll have to see the next few weeks how they do.
Yeah.
And we'll get even more information, and we can be a little more succinct on what we really, really, truly think about them. So
yeah, and hey, is the Jet season over? No, but again, having a bad September, it limits the slip ups later on, as the season goes, especially just if you're fighting for that wild card. People are like, oh yeah, hey, remember that Monday night game against the Bills? Like,
well, yeah, sure.
So that's where, unfortunately for the Jets, with this whole, like the Cincinnati Bengals, you're limiting your opportunities now to have one bad football game that can ultimately end your year. But the Jets, Devontae Adams, that was the big news of the day. They got him. Still have a lot of issues and things to solve on the defensive side of the football. Offense definitely looked better, and we'll see where it goes from here. And who do they have next on their schedule? They got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hot
in
damn.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Hot damn. Yeah. All right. Yep. Well, let's protect our guy.
Could be Russell Wilson at quarterback for the Steelers too. That's kind of sounds like it. If he practices well, then he'll probably be the starting quarterback, it looks like. Or just watching Mike Tomlin. So that's a pick'em game.
It is.
The Steelers and Jets down in Pittsburgh, it's a pick'em game. So the Jets got to play really well to win this game. So that'll be a fun watch. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, and we know one thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers' strength is what? They know how to make games really, really ugly. So get ready, New York Jets fans. It's going to be another ugly football game again in Pittsburgh against the Steelers, because nothing that they do is beautiful.
All right.
That's all we got for Sims Complete today. I'm Phil Sims. He's Matt Sims. This is Sims Complete. Check us out on Believe. Did you even catch what I did there?
I caught it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not asleep.
Hell, I caught it.
Well, hell, shoot.
Yeah. Sometimes you just are a Kentucky boy.
Yeah.
Hey, you the man, big guy.
All right, bud. That was a long day. I'm tired.
Hey, me too. That's a lot of football.
I'm gonna take a nap before I eat dinner.
All right. That's Big Phil and his eating and sleeping habits, and we'll be back with Sims Complete next time. See ya.
All right.
Toodles.
Toodles.